What's going on, guys? It's the Dividend Bloodhound here, bringing you a BFT stock update. So if you're not familiar with BFT, it is Foley Tresemmine 2. This is Anthony Foley's SPAC that he's bringing to the market, and I have some big news about this stock that I'm going to share with you today. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please smash that like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you on the flip side of the intro. Catch you there. Hey again, guys, welcome into the video. Fantastic to see you here. Thank you for supporting my channel. I'm going to waste no time today. We're going to get straight into all of the things that I want to talk about with this stock today. Hey again, guys, welcome into the analysis part of the video. So here we are looking at Foley Tresemmine Acquisition Corp 2, and it flew up today. BFT stock flew up today, spiked to over $16, just over $16.12 a share before retreating back down, but still higher than the previous day's close, albeit not by much. And this is due to a few recent news events. I'm going to move this on firstly to an article that I found dated the 28th of December by a guy called Michael Jaid on Seeking Alpha, and he's done a little bit of analysis around PaySafe and Foley Tresemmine Acquisition BFT stock, and he's obviously saying that it's going to list eventually as PSFE. We have Bill Foley on board. They're reckoning that they're going to take 103 billion in transactions in 2021 and expect to report 1.5 billion in revenues with a gross profit of 963 million in the same year. That just shows you the sort of high profit margins that they can attract with this company. And he goes on to show some really fine data here, to be fair. On the balance sheet, they're moving on down to the total of what BFT's assets are currently worth, over 1.47 billion. Then we talk a little bit about Bill Foley. Even at 75, he's a relentless, successful deal maker. So I back, even without the fundamentals behind this one, I back this guy. Since 1984, Foley's been involved with 100 acquisitions and spin-offs. That is absolutely huge. And his secret is super simple. He has a team of 6 managers, highly experienced financial wizards, that every company that gets associated with Foley gets to actually benefit from. And this is absolutely huge. And there is the strong history. From a previous video of mine, you can see his history in the past with Fidelity, Ceridian, etc., and the value creation that he has done in the past. And then if we look down at the bottom here, PaySafe owns and operates B2B and B2C online networks. This is a huge growing sector, as we well know, and we have a huge compound annual growth rate in that sector as well. And then to quickly sum that up, we have, it's a hot growing sector at the moment. It does have some debt and it does have some pipe funding which has to be taken into consideration, but over the long term this is a fantastic company to look into. And after the merger, PaySafe will gain 150 million in cash and receive 2 billion in funding from private investors. That is a huge amount of money to really grow this company, and with Foley's management team, that I believe is a recipe for success. Article number 2 says on Investor Place that it's a massive deal. When you raise 1.5 billion from a SPAC, the size of the target naturally grows exponentially. In the case of PaySafe, the pro forma enterprise value of 9 million upon combination closing in the first quarter of 2021 will include an additional 2 billion in private investment that we've already talked about. Now, some investors have raised concerns over the approximate 1.8 billion of debt that PaySafe has, and it will have a pro forma net leverage of 3.6 times its 2021 estimated organic earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, etc. However, that is going to be small fry in terms of the future potential of this company. As already mentioned, it's expected to process over 103 billion in payments in the iGaming industry, which is growing rapidly. It says here just in the US, but that is global in all fairness, especially in the Western world. Post-closing, BFT shareholders like ourselves will own 22.5% of the merged entity, with PIPE investors holding 27.8%. That is where some investors are getting cold feet about, because they're afraid that these private investors and these institutions are going to sell up after the merger to try and make a fortune. But that might not necessarily be the case, because these institutions, these private investors, want to make as much money as possible. So if they can continue and stay in the long term, they might make even more, as will we all, in the longer term history of this company and its potential growth over the coming years. Paysafe's existing shareholders will of course own the biggest chunk of the company, 45.7%, and Foley Tresamin's founders own 4% as well, because obviously they need to be rewarded for setting the company up in the first place. Foley says his whole history and career has been around acquiring companies and fixing companies, reported in Bloomberg in October 2020. In January, Foley's Kane Holdings was one of 7 stocks that could double in the consecutive year, and while he didn't quite pull that off in 2020, he did return 20%, which is pretty big and is a double-digit return no matter what. So if we move on now to the Twitter feed, because I monitor Twitter feeds as well, you can see that the stock sniper here at Ultra Calls has reported that there's a 9 billion merger of Paysafe to complete in the first half of 2021. There's no date yet set, but that is what's caused the spike in the share price today. They've got a plan to complete the merger and the date is pending, which is great for us investors, because that usually does involve a tick up in the share price. And lastly, what I wanted to move on to is an article on gaming, essentially gaming news, the Casino City Times. That is a press release dated on the 11th of January 2021 that Paysafe is going to partner with Colorado's Bet Wildwood, and it's a leading integrated platform that does a lot of wagers essentially in the betting industry, and it's a significant feather in the cap of Paysafe to partner in this company. And they're going to be working with all sorts of companies, but this is just one good news article that the market has reacted to today that I'm trying to bring you. But there are numerous other sectors and companies, betting companies, that Paysafe can work in, and if you want to see them, you can see it in the investor presentation. There's stuff like DraftKings, Sky Sports Betting, Betfred. All sorts of betting companies are taking advantage, and gaming companies are taking advantage of Paysafe's iGaming and payment solutions. And that concludes the analysis sector of the video there, but I just want to wrap up myself here. So I am still very bullish, despite the PIPE investors that are involved in this stock that are going to take 27% of the company on. I'm still very bullish in this company long term. I have faith in Foley and his track record, and I have faith in his management team as well at returning serious value to all investors. We're all here to make money. Him, his managers, the original shareholders, the PIPE investors, all of us are here to make money. We don't want to end up as the retail investors holding the bag, so we need to monitor that. But there is so much money to be made out of this company and so much value to be returned to investors over the longer term. Don't look for this company to double overnight. That's not what it's about, but it will give you continuous growth over the coming years and will get you to that 100% return eventually, but it's not going to happen overnight. You have to bear that in mind. I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic to bring to you. If you could see your way to smashing that like button, be absolutely fantastic, and consider subscribing to this channel as well. That would be awesome. I'll see you in my next investing episode. Catch you there.